Watch this story in full. Subscribe, comment and like my channel, Green Mythology, for mythology and history. Gateway 2, the captivating worlds of ancient myth. Now watch the story in full please. The whispers of discontent had long slithered through the halls of Egypt. Set, brother of the benevolent king Osiris, harbored a bitter jealousy that festered like a wound left untended. He saw the love between Osiris and his powerful wife, Isis, the reverence of the people, and his resentment grew into a venomous plot. One fateful day, under the guise of a grand feast, Set unveiled a magnificent chest, inlaid with gold and precious jewels. He declared it a gift for whomever it perfectly fit. One by one, the guests lay within, finding it either too long or too short, too wide or too narrow. Finally, Osiris reclined in the chest, and it fit him as if crafted for his very form. In that instant, Set and his conspirators slammed the lid shut, sealing the king within. They weighted the chest with lead and cast it into the Nile, plunging Egypt into despair. Isis, her heart shattered by grief, embarked on a desperate search for her beloved husband. Her sorrow echoed through the land as she tirelessly followed the river's course. Finally, she learned that the chest had been carried by the currents to the shores of Byblos, where it was encased within a growing tamarisk tree. With unwavering determination, Isis journeyed to Byblos, and through her divine influence, revealed the chest and brought Osiris's body back to Egypt. But even in death, Osiris was not safe from Set's malice. In a fit of rage, Set seized the body, tore it into 14 pieces, and scattered them across the land. Isis, with the aid of her sister Nephthys, embarked on the arduous task of collecting the fragments, her love and magic piecing her husband back together. Through her powerful spells, she briefly restored Osiris to life, conceiving their son, Horus, the future avenger. Knowing that Horus would be in grave danger from Set, Isis sought refuge in the hidden marshes of the Nile Delta. The god Thoth, wise in counsel and skilled in magic, foresaw the perils that lay ahead. To protect Isis and the infant Horus, he conjured 7 formidable scorpions as the guardians. Each scorpion was immense, their stingers potent with deadly venom. The names were Tephan, Bevan, Masatetef, Masatet, Pete, Chetet, and Metet, and they were fiercely loyal to the goddess. Isis, disguised as a humble peasant woman carrying her child, journeyed through the land, the 7 scorpions flanking her like silent, watchful sentinels. As dusk fell one evening, they approached a grand estate, its walls adorned with intricate carvings and its gardens overflowing with riches. Weary from her travels, Isis humbly requested shelter and sustenance from the mistress of the house, a woman of great wealth named Uzit. But Uzit, her heart hardened by her privileged life, recoiled at the sight of the seemingly poor woman and the 7 menacing scorpions that accompanied her. Fear and disdain twisted her features as she slammed the heavy gates shut, leaving Isis and her protectors to the harshness of the night. Dejected but resolute, Isis continued her journey until she reached the humble dwelling of a poor fisherwoman. This kind soul, despite her meager resources, welcomed Isis and her child with warmth and offered them food and a place to rest. The 7 scorpions, witnessing the stark contrast in the women's hearts, seethed with righteous anger at Uzit's cruelty and felt a surge of gratitude towards the fisherwoman's compassion. As Isis and the infant Horus slept peacefully under the fisherwoman's roof, the 7 scorpions convened in silent fury. They decided that Uzit's heartlessness could not go unpunished. In a unified act of vengeance, they gathered all their venom and channeled it into the stinger of their leader, Tephan. Under the cloak of darkness, Tephan stealthily made his way to Uzit's opulent home. He crept into the chambers where Uzit's own son, a healthy and beloved child, lay sleeping soundly. With swift and silent precision, Tephan plunged his venomous stinger into the boy. Soon, a piercing scream shattered the night's tranquility. Uzit awoke to find her son writhing in agony, his small body convulsing from the potent poison. Panic seized her as she desperately sought help, but the villagers, remembering her cold rejection of the weary traveler, turned their backs on her pleas. Hearing the commotion and sensing the scorpion's actions, Isis awoke with a start. Though she understood the desire for retribution, her divine compassion stirred within her. She knew that inflicting such pain on an innocent child was not the way of Ma'at, the principle of cosmic order and justice. Revealing her true form, the radiant goddess Isis stood before the distraught Uzit. Her presence filled the room with a divine light, and her voice resonated with power and authority. Seeing the goddess in her full glory, Uzit fell to her knees, overwhelmed with shame and remorse for her earlier callousness. Isis, her eyes filled with both sorrow and understanding, approached the suffering child. With a series of powerful incantations and divine gestures, she commanded the venom to recede. Slowly, the color returned to the boy's face, his breathing grew steady, and the convulsions ceased. The child was saved. Tears streamed down Uzit's face as she cradled her now peaceful son. She prostrated herself before Isis, begging for forgiveness for her heartless behavior. In her gratitude, she offered all her wealth to Isis and the kind fisherwoman who had shown such compassion. Isis, while appreciating the remorse, explained that true wealth lay not in material possessions but in kindness and empathy. She instructed Uzit to learn from her mistake and to open her heart to those in need. With a final, gentle gaze, the goddess and her 7 scorpion guardians departed, leaving behind a chastened yet wiser woman, and a village that had witnessed the power of both cruelty and compassion. The tale of Isis and the 7 scorpions served as a potent reminder that even the smallest act of kindness could earn the greatest reward, while indifference could lead to unforeseen and painful consequences.